welcome to the Magic of Marketing, where each week you get a hot tip to help you grow your business and change the world. And as you can see, today I have a guest with me, and this is Donnie Coady from DC Design House.
Hey guys, how are you?
Welcome, Donnie, to the
Thank you
show.
so much.
Yeah,
Thank you
I'm so
very
happy.
much. So glad to be here with the amazing Jennifer Trask.
Oh,
you guys must know by now.
Thank you. So I'll tell you, first of all, today we're going to talk about branding and how to help you create a really great brand that speaks to your business and that you love. But I want to share something with you first. For those of you who don't know, because it's always, you are like the behind the scenes guy. So Donnie helped me bring my brand to life, my brand that do you remember when we were in your office? So I go down to his office because he wants to show me his logos. And by the way, it took me 2 months to decide on my tagline.
Sure.
Like 2 months going through this word and that word. And,
well, that speaks how important it is when you collaborate with your clients, because it's not like let's go with this and run with it. You have to think strategically and make sure it's going to serve you in the long term and all these things.
Right. So I took a good old time figuring it out. Anyway, so I go to Donnie's office and he's weeks creating this brand, and he had met with me a few times and knows I love my pink. And anyway, so I go, we sit, and he shows me these things, and I literally started to cry. Do you remember that?
Oh my God.
And because he had nailed it. I'm in love with my brand. It's the right time. It's right everything. And so what I wanted Donnie to come on to talk about is, how whether he's creating it for you or somebody else or whatever, because everyone's in different stages. True. And financially too. So I want that to happen for you, because also your brand is so important in communicating other things about your business. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So Donnie, you work with lots of companies in your design house. So tell me first, what is a brand? You
are the brand.
Oh, yes.
It's crazy, right?
We are the brand.
People are like, I need a logo, Donnie. Give me a logo. It's like, okay, well, that's okay. But there's a few things that make a logo.
Okay.
And once we've created what we call brand expression at our firm, because it's really the window dressing, it's the business card, it's the first piece that someone will see that alludes to the experience that they will hopefully have with you.
Right.
The service provider, the company. And so we always joke, it's our job to make, the phone ring, the door swing, and the email go bing.
Oh, I've never heard that before.
Well, I made it up, and sometimes I feel like,
we've been making stuff up here all day.
Well, it's just like a funny way to think about the 3 ways people would normally get a hold of you once they see your brand expression, right?
Right.
And so you, once they get a hold of you through those popular means, are responsible for executing the brand, which again is you, your service, all the things you are selling or providing, right?
Right.
And that's why you're the brand. Okay.
So now if someone is, whether they're just starting out or they have a brand and they're like, this is not who I am anymore, what are the things they need to start to explore? So if you can, if they were going to work with a designer, what did they need to bring to the table in order to ensure that what gets created is what they really want?
Well, it's really important, as you know, to have a discovery. It's interesting, some emails and some back and forth buzzwords and general conversation is critical, because how can I and you together, which we often work together to provide success for our clients, how can we give you something if we don't know the big picture of where you're headed? Because today's today, but tomorrow you could be widening your service delivery into a bunch of different areas, and the focus on one might shift a little bit and move into something else. And you don't want your brand expression, which to zoom out is your logo, your word mark, whatever the name of your entity is, right? Your industry, your promise line. So your position line really is the industry that you belong in, that separates you from the competition that's in that industry. And the promise line is really where sex appeal meets value, we always say. It's your slogan, your strap line. There's so many different terms under the marketing umbrella for these things.
So can you use my brand as an example for those? Because some people listening might not have never heard the term.
Well, let's call it down. Jennifer Trask.
Yeah.
That is obviously your brand and name, right? Mm-hmm. So then we came up with your position.
which is branding and marketing strategies for self-help coaches.
Right. Very encompassing, very specific, does not get lost in the mushy middle, right?
Right.
And then we have your slogan or your promise line.
Which is grow your business, change the world.
Love it.
I know, me too.
It was like yesterday all over again.
I know. But I want people to really understand that the position.
Right.
And
well, the position, basically, again, to iterate, is what industry are you a part of, and
right.
what is your stronghold or focus within that industry.
Right.
Right. And yours, strategies for self-help coaches, very specific. There's no wondering what you're all about.
No, and
right?
I really liked that.
Yeah, no, I think it's perfect for you.
And I'll tell you that in the beginning, I just wanted a nice tagline, like a lovey,
right.
we're going to change the world kind of tagline. And luckily, Donnie here helped me, figure out, no, people need to know what you do.
Well,
right?
we were on the right track from the get-go,
yeah.
but it's about the logical and emotional benefit of choosing you, which I know it's like, my God, you've taken a slogan and made it horrible and hateful. But no, those are the things we think about because it's the logical and emotional benefit put together equals something that resonates and is sticky and feels like something, but also makes you feel like a problem that you have is going to be solved. And that is what makes you warm up to a service provider, whether it's myself or yourself or anyone else, to help work you forward.
Absolutely.
Mine, DC, is our brand. If I'm DC Communications in 10 years' time, who knows where that will go. But today we're a design house, meaning that we are a creative production house first, a design house.
Yeah.
And the art of attraction is a nice little double play. Now, can we use that or not? I guess time will tell. We already have another one in the works for the next phase of our own internal brand expression, which is, a little under the hood right now. But the art of attraction speaks so well because the art lends itself to the creativity that we provide in our production house. And attraction is what we hope not only will help us with our clients, but will help our clients in the marketplace once we work with them. So it works really good. So again, the promise line or the slogan is the art of attraction, and the position is design house because that's who we are in the industry. Right.
That's excellent. So I think that's perfect. It really explains for those who are out there trying to figure that out. Okay. Now let's talk a minute about colors.
Right.
Because colors are actually very important.
True.
And they have, when we look at colors, I was learning about a study the other day. Now, I can't quote it because I haven't detailed it out. Someone was telling me about it, but there is a place in the States where you can go and do color therapy. And what happens is you get surrounded by a particular color for a couple of hours. And then part of the process is to watch how you go about your day and how you feel. And it literally changes the energy that once you leave that color room, it literally changes it. So color is important. So let's talk about color and how to choose color and what works and what doesn't. And then the other thing I want to talk to you about is the number of colors. But let's start with color in general first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Broad stroke, everyone says something different about color.
Okay.
It's when I show someone a brand expression piece, right? And they say to me, and maybe this usually happens to people who I've worked with, maybe not help them set up, but now we're doing some further collaboration on some in-market materials, like website or e-marketing newsletter or what have you, right?
Right.
They're like, I don't know, orange, that's a cheap color, isn't it? That's like a cheap color. It means deals and it means discounts. The same person could also feel like orange is about energy and excitement.
Right.
And there's a prime example. Blue, which is in our brand expression, I'm blue. I didn't mean literally.
Okay, I did this purposely
we did not
because Donnie was coming in.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I love it. But blue is calming to many, right?
Yeah.
It's also a trustworthy color. That's okay. Did I choose blue for our brand expression because of those two reasons? Maybe, based on my own hearsay and learning and research. But I just love that blue. It makes me feel good. And ultimately, everything you do is meant to connect with the type of people that you want to work with anyway.
Right.
So that's why I chose. We know why you chose the pinks and the purples. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It's because you feel like you love those colors and that excites you and it fits with the overall vibe of the service you provide and the customers that you want to connect with the most. Am I right?
That's right. And actually, it's interesting because my brand before this one was blue, and it was beautiful, but I always felt this about it. And the reason I did is because when I created the brand, which was about 4 years ago, I was still in a place where I was trying to be who I thought I had to be.
Totally.
Instead of just being who I really am. And I knew when I made the shift over to self-help coaches, I was like, this is it! Everything is going to be me because people are working with me.
Right.
Right? And you know, I do attract mostly females. I do talk to males sometimes, but, you know, a male isn't going to care. If he's my ideal client, he's not going to care if I have pink or purple on my website.
Totally.
I mean, you know, so it's fine. So you're right. So essentially, I think what I'm hearing is you have to pick something that works for you and represents you and the brand.
Totally. And that's specific, again, to the people we're speaking to today, which are majority potentially self-help coaches or general single and solo, sellers.
Yes.
So it is important that way.
Yeah.
I feel like if I got a business card or saw a brand expression in any collateral type, right, again, digital or classic, from someone who was black and gray, I'm going to think elite, luxury, sophisticated, conservative. These are the buzzwords I'm going to walk away with. If I saw someone who had everything decked out in shades of yellow, I'm going to think super happy and bright and positive, and it's that type of business. That being said, the rule is there are no rules.
Yeah. It's a tough one, hey.
Well, the discovery phase, I think that we all need to go through when we're working with our clients is take a look at the common colors of the industry.
Right.
And then either go down suit or buck it all together. And I mean, that's really the two extremes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think too, I guess, ultimately, you have to love it. Don't do it because you think other people will like it. Do it because you love it.
It's funny, in creative production and marketing and consultancy, we've all been there. Where we believe in the expression and the strategy behind it, etc. The client is freaking out.
Right.
Tough one.
That would be very, I don't create like you do, so I can imagine.
It's, your deep consultation programs that you run are great because they happen over a period of time, and so nothing is rushed, and by the time you get to brand expression, everything is very thought out and in line, and the client's very up to date with what they want based on working with you, and that's a huge value that you provide. It's empowering their direction, let alone helping them find it, right? Yeah. Which often prevents that from happening for me, because by the time they get to me from dealing with you, it's all we all know what we want, we're all on the same page. Every now and then in life, a client is going to get to that point where the creative producer is going to say, based on our strategy and our ability and skill set, etc., here's where you need to be look and feel-wise. And it's a tough one. I can say, luckily, I've not been in a situation where I've presented something to a client and they've lost their mind through panic and worry.
Right.
Some have. If you, as a client, end up in the position where you are working with a creative professional and you are very insecure and scared about moving forward based on what you're being presented with, sorry to turn back the hands of time, but was there a Jennifer in the mix? Is the creative professional that you're working with someone who has the creative ability for look and feel, along with the strategic mindset and long planning that you would provide?
Yeah.
That's
And
the question.
So what would you suggest to someone if that happens to them? If they work with a designer and the first thing they get is something totally turns them off?
I think that if someone ever shows you one option, then where's the other option?
Right.
One is often meant to help steer the client towards the other. A good design... For real.
Yeah, that's strategy. Right?
Well, sometimes you got to see what you don't like in order to feel what you do.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I think experienced designers and creative professionals will always show at least two options, and sometimes maximum two options, to really put it out there. Here's why we love this. Here's why we love that. The colors should be a little bit of variation therein. unless they've worked with someone like you or like me on a consultation basis before we get to that exact point.
Yeah, that's right.
So we all know.
So one of the things I just want to suggest to people, because I did this and it worked out great for me, actually do your research before you hire someone.
Yeah, fair.
And I think the biggest thing is, there are actually a lot of great designers out there.
Oh my God,
and you can't serve everyone on the planet.
True.
So ask people, look at brands you like, who are creating their brands. Also, look at the company or the person, whoever it is, their website. Because, if you go to your website, you're going to see a whole bunch of work that you guys have done.
Right.
So you're going to be able, as a potential client just looking onwards,
right.
I can see, I really love the way they work. I like what they're outputting. Or, you know what? This is not my stuff.
Right.
And that easily can stop anything from horrid happening, like sitting across the table and getting something you absolutely hate.
And haste makes waste in that regard, too.
Yeah.
I think that if anyone is actually putting in the time and attention and, of course, the money that it takes to make your brand expression take flight on a strategic level, and then in the creative elements that are produced, you are going to take a look at some different people to make sure you're working with the right team to make it happen.
Absolutely. And one thing I would like to suggest is to, if you are creating a new brand, don't rush it. Like, get it right the first time. I mean, if this is your business and you're going to have this brand for, 5 years probably at the minimum, get it right the first time.
True.
Don't rush it. Take that extra month or whatever it needs. I mean, geez, I took like ages on stuff, but I wanted to get it right.
You were happy in the end, there's no question.
I was so happy in the end. Everything I got back, I was like, I don't even know what to tell you to change.
That's awesome.
Nothing.
Well, because it was thought out and planned.
It was thought out and planned.
Haste makes waste every time. The more I work in this industry, which I love, I wake up for this every day, the more I really do know that the more you rush to get out there, the more you'll regret rushing to get out there.
Right, and that's something from my end as well. So not just the design, but from strategy.
Right.
Most people, ready, fire, aim instead of ready, aim, fire, strategy.
Yes.
So let's quickly move to the colors and multiple colors, because I had passed something on to Donnie once, and it was a pre-made logo that someone had. Anyways, I sent it over to him, and he was like, "Oh my God, there are way too many colors, and this is horrible."
Did I do it just like that?
Something like that. I felt that was what was coming to me now, so I could picture
that was the energy.
Oh my God, this is horrible.
Fanning myself.
I can't deal with this.
Putting water on my face,
So what's interesting though is what you said made sense, as in think about when you have to use this and make it into a website, into letterhead, into business card, into programs and whatever. So can you tell everybody about colors, the number of colors that work, and how do you work them together so that they really work well off each other?
Yes. Broad stroke, as the rule, or there are no rules, but I've seen color or logos that had 3 and 4 colors. If it works, it works, right? Just know that the more colors that your logo has, the more expensive it might be for you to do reproduction on a embroidered uniform, on a sign production, on business cards. These costs, depending on how you produce these materials, could go up depending on how many colors you choose. We always try to stay within one color subset and a tertiary color, which means a complementary or neutralizing color that sort of helps to balance out the color that we go with dominant-wise.
Okay.
Right? Like pinks and purples for you were met with a soft gray to balance out some of these sub-elements. Right?
Yeah.
And again, now I'm boring you guys talking about, the details of design, but on a color level, we try to keep it simple based on the big picture of where that logo will go and the production implications, again, for uniforms or signage or whatever print material. And if you have to do business cards on an offset printer as opposed to printing them digitally, then the cost will go up depending on how many colors that they have to run plates for. And now I'm just losing you altogether.
Yeah. Okay, but what we've learned is less colors is going to equal less payment as you're getting things created later.
To an extent.
Yeah. And then I think another thing that I just thought about as you were saying that is that it actually makes things easier probably from a design. If you have, it's kind of like the less is more. Like one time I went into a Shoppers Drug Mart, which is a chain we have here in Canada anyways, and I wanted gum. So I go in to get some gum, but I didn't know what kind of gum I want. Now, I don't normally get huge varieties. But anyways, I go in and I look, and there's like 1,000 packs of gum. And I'm standing there for about, I don't know, a minute and a half, which when you're standing staring at gum, that's a long time.
That's a bit of a lot.
Anyways, I just walked out because I thought, I can't decide. There's too much to choose from, so I left. And I think I say this to my clients when they're doing their products and services, like, make it easy for people to buy from you. Have less to offer that is of high value. So when it comes to color,
right.
if you have less to work, just a few things, then it also allows the decisions later to be easier and everything to flow better. I think all your materials, whether they're online or offline,
right,
to all have that congruency, which creates
consistency
that
is the key. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so. What are the, because I think we got to wrap up here. We're getting down to our 20 minutes. Or maybe I think we might be over it. But anyways, so if our audience, so they're thinking about getting a new brand.
Right.
What are the most, when I ask you, what are the things that come to your head when I ask you, what are the most important things that they need, aside from their logo? So we're gonna give you the logos down. So what are the most important things that you think people really need to create that consistency, and whether that's offline or offline for their marketing pieces to start with?
Yeah,
they gotta budget them out.
Yeah, definitely. Brand expression in terms of logo, step one.
Yeah.
Right, that's the key. Once you have that to put on your vision board and you're excited to move forward, the next heavy hitters are often business card, based on networking, a well-crafted professional e-signature that goes with email. Let's face it, everyone's emailing.
Right.
And there's a lot of subjects about how much should you be emailing versus picking up the phone versus meeting. That's a separate subject.
Yeah.
You need that well-crafted brand expression.
You guys have an amazing email signature.
They're fun, right?
They're really. If you want to see it,
like
email them.
Yes, drop me a line.
He'll email you back, and you'll see the signature. Okay. Anything else?
Typically a coming soon page, so you exist online.
At least you exist. Yeah.
Exactly. And depending on social medias, then you can just do some banners that can set up those channels for you, so you can start beaming out information in Twitter versus Facebook versus whatever.
Right.
Those are the majors.
Yeah.
I feel like.
So glad I asked you that, because email signature would not have come to mind for me.
I think it's so important. It doesn't for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But depending on your type of service and how much correspondence you do with your client base in terms of projects and moving things forward via email, it's nice at the end of every email to have a little love you mean it style signature that feels like the brand and the person that you're working with.
Awesome.
It's a nice way to cap off each bit of correspondence, I feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Donnie, if anyone's watching this and they have questions or they want to contact you about design, how can they get a hold of you?
Very active on Twitter. Always beaming out little, creative and tech-related tips and tricks and interesting things that turn us on at the Design House. So DC at DC Design House is my Twitter handle. And visit our website. We're constantly adding new projects and little love notes about the stuff that go live. So www.dcdesignhouse.ca. And of course LinkedIn and Facebook and everything else. But Twitter and our portfolio-driven site is really where the magic happens for us. Or call us anytime with the number you can get on the site.
Right. Awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Thank you very much. Great time.
Yay.
Cool.
And thank you for being here. Now, if you have any questions, and I have a question for you, like what really stood out for you? So I didn't know signature. I got to get on that. I don't have a fancy dancy one. Put it in the comments below, and Donnie will respond if it's for him or if you have any for me. And as well, make sure you like and share this video. We love when you give the love and tweet it out. And if you have any questions for Donnie, feel free to reach out to him. And I'll put the links up for everybody too, so they'll be able to do that easily.
Cool.
So thanks so much for being here. We'll see you next week on the magic of marketing.
See you guys.
Bye.